Hi friends, welcome back. My name's Jess. This is the Scapegoat Club. And today's question is it inevitable that you break up with your narcissistic family? Hi friends, thanks for tuning in. My name's Jess, and for those of you who are new here, I believe I am the scapegoat in a narcissistic family. And I am studying to be a psychotherapist. And so I'm studying various psychological theories. And this week I've come across the theory around, it's called congruence. It doesn't really matter, the word. But basically there's this, the idea is that we all have beliefs, self-beliefs, and how we see ourselves and that's how we interact in the world. We interact through this idea of who we think we are and other experiences we've had. And when we have experiences as we go through our lives, they either align or they interfere. They don't align with the pictures we have in our head. And so if they do align, they're congruent, the things that are happening to us align with our own ideas and perspectives and experiences. But if they don't align, we actually end up in a really tricky psychological space. It's called maladaptive. That's where we end up with psychological problems. So I was thinking about what my experience is, and I'm curious, as always, to hear if you think your situation was similar. So scapegoats in narcissistic family units, they're the ones that are really blamed for everything that goes wrong in the family. So the scapegoat is told that they're bad, that they're wrong, that they're worthless, and they start to believe all these things, and they also believe, and they have no power, especially when you're a child, and if the narcissist is a parent or a caregiver, then you're in this kind of powerless state. And the family or the narcissistic parent or caregiver or another person is good, they are right, they're the one with the power, and so there's always that dynamic. And kids, it's normal and it's safe and it's actually right for kids to go along with that dynamic. It would be self-destructive for a child to not go along with that power dynamic through their childhood. So they have to take on that role if that's what's being assigned to them by their caregiver. But as we grow up and we grow more independent, and as hopefully a scapegoat moves away from that family unit, that controlling unit, and starts to develop their own lives and their own personalities, gets their own friends, starts to follow, what's in here, what's inside, then what starts to happen is that we start to have these experiences that are not in alignment with the picture that we have in our head. Actually, I'm going to stop myself there. I should say, I think this starts to happen much earlier on. But again, if you're in that situation where you're living with a narcissistic parent and you're, let's say, legally younger, you're a minor, and you don't have that power, you can start seeing these things and start having kind of a really fractious relationship, because you can see something, but maybe you don't know exactly what it is, you can't put words to it, or even if you can, there's nothing you can do about it because you're stuck in that situation. So having these experiences where the experience doesn't match our internal dialogue is really, really harmful, and that's I believe where psychological abuse comes in. That's where it's so harmful to live with people who, whether they know that they're doing it or not, when they can't allow us to be ourselves and have these this kind of healthy way of learning and growing up in the world. That's why it's so damaging, and why we can end up with a lot of mental health problems later on in life. So as we break away, and the more and more we have our own lives and start to know ourselves in the world, I think that we're bound to have more and more of these kind of conflicts where we're seeing one thing and believing another. And it starts to give us a lot of trouble. And I know myself, if I can come back to my own experience, I went to see the first time I went to see a counselor, and I said that I don't understand it. My parents treat me like I'm some kind of reprobate, you know. You think I was a drug dealer or you know, completely messed up or doing all these horrible things or really kind of down and out. But I was like, you know, I'm a successful, independent adult in a, you know, I don't understand why there's this negative perspective from them, and also one that I still believe myself. And, you know, it just didn't really align anymore. It wasn't making any sense, and I was having a lot of trouble with that, and that was in itself giving me mental health problems. So and we're having an experience that doesn't match our internal beliefs and our pictures of ourselves, then we have two choices. We can either re-examine the experience and see if we can reframe it and see if we've understood it correctly, or we can change our personal beliefs. And so what I did for many, many, many years, and I think what you have to do as a child, as I've said, and what's easier actually, is to look for different experiences or to try and reframe them. And I think that's the challenge with a narcissist. They are so good at reframing our experiences. That's where a lot of the gaslighting and manipulation comes from. And let me explain. So say we have a situation where, I don't know, we see our parent acting in a selfish, mean way, and we call them out on it. They can, you know, they might say, oh no, that didn't happen, you got it out of context, or they'll deflect from it, or why do you have to always find trouble in that? You get that kind of response to try and deflect from and reframe the experience, because the narcissist isn't going to self-reflect and say, oh yeah, I was actually mean, I should change my behavior. And so what we have to do as children in that family dynamic is we have to say, okay, yeah, it was me, or I misunderstood the situation. We have to reframe that. And I think it becomes so habitualized, we get to become so used to doing it, that habit continues and continues and continues through our lives. And really, without a lot of external help, it's very hard to really see that maybe our beliefs and the way we look at our relationships are seriously flawed. And so my perspective is that once you start to see it, so if you're watching this channel, odds are that you realize that all is not well, and that the reason it's not well is not because of you, which you've already been told. It's because of them, because of their behavior. And so I think once that realization kicks in, it's really hard, and there's a lot of grief and denial, and that whole process is hugely difficult. But I think that once we've seen the light, seen what the truth is, we can't unsee it. I don't really think it's possible because we'd have to really fundamentally switch something in our brains that I just don't think it's possible psychologically for us to not see it anymore. Once we've become awakened to it, basically, you can't go back. I don't think it's possible. And so then I think there are two scenarios. So coming back to my original question, is it inevitable that you break free from the narcissist? I think it's inevitable that you see them for what they are. But so once you've seen them for who they are, then I think you have that choice as to what you do about it. Some people will choose to end the relationship and to break free and to move on. That's not available to some people for whatever reason, and so they have to adjust or, you know, accommodate the relationship as it is. But I think really there is, even if you're not breaking free from in a physical perspective, there is a mental breaking free, breaking that kind of tie and that belief system that pulls you into that dynamic with the narcissists. And I think that is inevitable. So, as always, I'm really curious to see what you think, see if that resonates or you think that's, that reflects your situation. Thank you so much for commenting and for being here and for all your support. And as always, so much love and support to you all if you are going through this. It's really hard, and please, if you are able to, reprogramming our psyche and the way we think and the way we have our perspectives, the way we see the world, that's what the professionals are really good at. So if you are able to get professional help, I really do think it's worth it. So please take care of yourself, my friends. What a beautiful sunny day here. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.